Hey guys, it's Liz of Crafty Inked Girl. Welcome back to my channel. Today I am doing my Halloween week plan with me and I am so excited. I'm using the Boo kit from Planner Pixie Co, and this was not originally the kit that I was going to use, but when this came out I could not resist it, so I switched things up and I wound up using the Haunted kit from Crust Press last week, which was supposed to be for this week, and I had gotten all of the extras with foil and everything, but I couldn't resist this one. And even though it was a little too late to get tons of extras, I still have these foiled underlays that I previously purchased, and I am going to make this spread fantastic no matter what. So if you want to see how this comes together, just stay tuned.
So I decided for this plan with me that I didn't want to talk just about the stickers, and I went on Instagram last week and asked for some questions so that I could do a little bit of a Q&A again, because I really enjoy that. I do love the stickers, but at the same time I love talking about other stuff as well. So if you have any questions about the stickers or what I'm doing when I'm not talking about the planner, just drop that in the comments below and I will be sure to get back to you. And if you have any other questions for me in general that you want to know, I will be happy to answer those also. So I'm going to get into the Q&A in just a minute, but I just wanted to talk about the foundation of this spread for a second. After I finish putting the headers down, I am going to be putting down those really pretty gold foil confetti underlays from Planner Pixie Co. And I actually learned my lesson from last week when I put the underlays and everything in from the bottom up. This week I went from the top down and it made such a big difference and everything lined up and I did not have to pick up and redo anything. And yeah, now I know. Now I know when using underlays, go from the top down. So that's it. Just a quick point on that. So let me jump into the Q&A. So I actually got 3 questions about favorite movies. First one was from Tattoo Teacher Plans. What is your favorite movie or movies? Honeybee Plans asked what my favorite Halloween and Christmas movie is. And Planner Anna 93 asked what my favorite Halloween movie is, scary or not. So I will kind of answer those all together. So for favorite movies overall, I don't know why I always have a hard time picking favorite movies. I don't I don't know. Like I know I've seen like so many movies and I know I'm always missing something, but the things that come to my mind first and foremost are the Harry Potter movies. I have such a soft spot in my heart for those. I have watched them so many times. If you know me, you know I'm a Harry Potter fanatic, and I'm sorry if you hear my dog barking. The mail must be coming. But anyway, if you know me, you know I'm a Harry Potter junkie, and I have read all the books. I've watched the movies several times. Earlier this year, at the beginning of quarantine, I did a Harry Potter movie marathon with my boyfriend because he had never actually seen them all. He only had watched part of the first one and never even finished it and never saw any other ones. And I'm like, babe, seriously, you need to watch them. So we watched a movie a night until we watched all of them. And I can just watch them again and again. And probably once a year, I'll watch all of them at some point. Another movie that I love, love, love is Crazy Stupid Love. I don't know why. That's another one that I can watch over and over again. It makes me laugh, it makes me cry, and there's just something so, I don't know. There's just something so awesome about that story. I don't know what it is. I don't know. I'm just saying I don't know over and over again. But whatever. I love that movie. I also love anything period piece related. A movie that I have watched a million times since college when I watched it in a film class is called A Room with a View. I know most people never even heard of it, but it is such a beautiful story and it takes place in England and Italy and it is a period piece and it's just so beautiful. It's kind of an independent style movie. I'm not really sure how to explain it, but it's not everybody's cup of tea, but it's definitely mine, and I consider that an all-time favorite. And another one that I love, love, love is Dangerous Liaisons. That story is amazing. I love that novel, and they just did a phenomenal job on that movie, and another one that I could watch over and over again. So those are the things that kind of stand out in my head as favorite movies in general. As far as favorite Halloween movie, I cannot just pick one. I have a few, and I don't care. Hocus Pocus, Sleepy Hollow, A Nightmare Before Christmas, and Practical Magic. Those are some of my all-time favorites. I can watch those over and over again, and to me, it's not a Halloween without watching Hocus Pocus and Sleepy Hollow and Nightmare Before Christmas. I actually did not watch Nightmare this year because I have it on DVD, but I don't have a DVD player, so that doesn't work. And every time it was on TV, I missed it somehow. So I feel kind of bummy that I didn't watch it yet this year. And I love Practical Magic. I don't watch that every single year, but I did watch it this year again. It was probably the first time in maybe 2 or 3 years since I've seen it, but those are ones that stand out as must watch movies. And I do like anything else that's kind of like creepy and ghost story-ish, like The Conjuring, but my man just doesn't love movies like that. We watched Winchester a few weeks ago, and that came out 2 years ago, and that was such a great story and not overly freaky ghost story, and he actually really enjoyed it just as much as I did. So that'll probably go on the list of things that I can watch again. So for favorite Christmas movie, it is hands down, without a doubt, A Christmas Story. I've watched that movie every single year since it came out, and I have watched it multiple times a year, many times, because it usually goes on the 24-hour TBS marathon, and I will just have it on in the background one day and it'll just go over and over and over again. And to me, it is just not a holiday season if I do not watch A Christmas Story at least 3 times. Okay, so that is it for movie questions, but Honeybee Plans had 2 other questions for me. She asked 3 favorite TV shows right now. Don't come at me, guys, but I don't really watch a ton of shows on TV. So it's hard to pick a favorite. It's not on TV right now, but it was on TV, but I'm watching it on Netflix, and that is Schitt's Creek. I don't know how I never saw that until now, but Dave and I started binge watching it during this past week, and oh my God, we are just dying. It is so freaking funny, and we're so hooked on it, and we totally binge it like hours, and it's just so funny. So that's one that I would say is a favorite right now. And the other thing that's currently on, the season premiere was on Tuesday of this week that this plan with me is for, and that is This Is Us. I love that show. A couple of seasons have been a little meh, not really sure how I felt about them, but last season was fantastic, and this season started out with a bang, and I cannot wait to see what happens on that show. And other than that, for like a current show that's on, I have no idea, because I don't really watch a lot of current things that are on TV. So the only other thing that I could pick as a favorite would be probably Big Bang, because we just watch that when it's on repeats, like whenever it's on. It's usually what's on in the background when we're watching YouTube or something else. So that's kind of my answer for favorite TV shows right now. And her last question is 5 countries you want to visit. So that's really easy. Number 1 is Italy. And that's for a couple of reasons. Half my family is from Italy, and I've always wanted to go there. So that is one reason. Second is because when my boyfriend and I first became friends, in one of the first real conversations we had, I asked him where are the top places you want to travel? And the first answer he had was Italy. And we have been talking ever since about that being one of our first big trips we ever get to take together. And being that we're still in a pandemic and we don't plan on traveling for some time, that trip will probably be held off for a while. But at some point, I really want to go. I want to see the art and the history and have the food, and just everything about Italy is appealing for so many different reasons. So that's number one. I would love to go to Ireland and Scotland, both mainly for the same reason, because their landscapes look incredibly stunning and because there are so many castles and ruins and historical elements of that nature, which I'm very into and I would just love to explore. I love the book series and the show Outlander and the history of that, and I would just love to visit all the places that they talk about, see the places that they shot on location, on the show, anything about that. The next place I would love to visit is Norway for a couple of reasons. One, I would love to see the Northern Lights. That is definitely a big bucket list item, is to see the Northern Lights in person. And because I'm also very fascinated by Norse mythology, and so I would love to just explore the history of the Norse people. And then the fifth place is kind of a tie, and I'm not really sure which I would choose, but I would love to go to either Africa or Egypt. And those are the two biggest pipe dream trips on here that I doubt will ever actually happen. But they're still places I want to visit. I would love to go to Africa because I'm a huge nature person. I love wildlife, and I would love to go on a safari and see the animals in their natural element and just have that experience up close and personal. And I would love to go to Egypt because ever since I was a little kid, I've been very fascinated by Egyptian mythology and culture, and I would love to see the pyramids and explore all of those kinds of environments. I don't know. That's basically a big pipe dream. I don't know that I'll ever actually see a pyramid in person, but yeah. So those are the places I would love to travel. And then two places I would love to revisit, and they're the only places that I've actually been to in Europe, is England and France. I was there 3 years ago and I fell in love with both countries. I did not get nearly enough time in either of them, and one day I would love to go back. They're not the priorities since I've already been there. I would love to visit places I haven't been yet, but those are definitely places that after I see some other things that I want to, I would love to go back to those. So, next question came from Bare Necessities Planning. Are you dressing up for Halloween? Unfortunately, not this year. Since there is not much to do and I do not get trick-or-treaters in my neighborhood, and I don't think I would really want to be opening my door for them anyway, I don't have much of a reason to dress up. I actually have not put a costume on in probably 10 years, and that's not because I don't enjoy it. Don't get me wrong, I absolutely love it. Halloween is my favorite time of year, and I am so down for costume parties and things like that, but I just haven't had any place to go where it warranted putting a costume on. So, no, there will be no costuming this year. Perhaps next year if things are different. Like, I almost feel like it was very weird because I don't know if anybody else realized that this year was the 8th anniversary of Hurricane Sandy, and being that I lived on Long Island at the time, it hit really hard over there. And I remember that it was right before Halloween. The storm started picking up on October 29th. And I remember that very clearly because the 29th is my stepmom's birthday. And I remember being out to dinner and it was starting to get very, very, very windy and very rainy, and we were all kind of anxious to finish dinner and be able to get home. And then the storm hit on 30th big time, and then Halloween was the next day, and I remember feeling like Halloween was just canceled because there was no power, there was just so much devastation. And I kind of feel the same this year. Like it was almost like Halloween just wasn't happening with everything going on. And it's a little sad, but I'm hoping that next year will be different. And I would love to get a costume next year. I don't know as what. And I hope that there's some place to go and something to do where we can enjoy and celebrate and just be festive. The next question comes from Letters from Lay. What are your favorite holiday traditions? So, first, I'm going to talk about some of my favorite holiday traditions from when I was a little girl. So, my mom's family is Jewish and my dad's family is Catholic. So, half my family celebrated Christmas and half my family celebrated Hanukkah. And in my house, we personally celebrated Hanukkah, but I would still get to go to my grandfather's house on my dad's side and help decorate the tree, which was such a treat. And I really enjoyed doing that because even though I was raised Jewish, I still love the spirit of Christmas as far as decorating and being generous and enjoying just the beauty of the tree and all of that. So I always had a lot of fun doing that. And then in my house for Hanukkah, we did light the menorah every night for all 8 nights, and my parents would give me one big gift and one little gift for each night of Hanukkah. So we would get to light the candles, and then I would get to open my presents, and then we would eat dinner together. And that was so much fun, and I always enjoyed that. And then for one night during Hanukkah, we would go to my grandparents' house, and my aunt and my cousins lived not that far. So we would all go together and we would have a big Hanukkah celebration, and all us kids would sit in a circle on the floor, and from youngest to oldest, we'd go around and open our presents for the night. And that was the way that we always did things when I was growing up, and it was just so much fun. And that's definitely my favorite tradition from when I was a kid. And as an adult in recent times with my boyfriend, we love getting some nice Starbucks and getting in the car and putting on holiday music and driving around our neighborhood looking at holiday lights. There are so many houses not that far from us that decorate to the nines, and it's absolutely beautiful. There's one house that was on one of those like Christmas wars or holiday light competition shows at one point, and they won, and their house is unbelievable. Like, I can't even put into words what goes into what they do, and it's just spectacular. So that is definitely a favorite tradition of ours to do. And we also decided that we would do a fresh tree every year, not a fake tree, and go out to a Christmas tree farm on the island where you could cut your tree down. So we did that last year, and we went the first week of December, the first weekend, and we cut our tree down, and we come home, and then we spend the rest of the weekend decorating the tree. And of course, before we go get the tree, we like to go and buy a couple of new ornaments for the tree. So that is my favorite current tradition for the holidays, and it's just so much fun. I really enjoy it. So, my last question comes from Coco Plans. Tell us about your other creative pursuits. So, if you've watched my videos before, you've probably heard me talk about the fact that I am a knitter. I have been knitting since I'm about 6 or 7 years old. My grandmother taught me, and it's just something that stuck with me for most of my life because I just really enjoy the gratification of making something with your own two hands that you can actually wear and use and enjoy. And I love the challenge of making a new garment, learning a new technique. There's always new yarns coming out. I'm very inspired by the colors and especially of hand-dyed yarns. And that's another creative pursuit of mine that I don't really have too much time or capability to do right now because I don't have a proper space for it. But I do love hand dyeing yarn. It's something I enjoy so much, and it's a really great creative outlet, and then it's even more fun to be able to knit with the yarn that you dyed. So that's something that I enjoy very much. And my other main creative pursuit is photography. I'm not very public about my photography, but I love doing still life, nature, landscapes, flowers in particular. I do not enjoy photographing people or babies or things like that. But I go through phases where I'm very into it and I'm out with my camera all the time, and then there are other times where I'm mainly working on other types of projects like my planner or my knitting. So it kind of depends on my mood, but photography is definitely my other main creative pursuit aside from the knitting and the planning. And I did actually graduate from a photography program, and I would love to do more with it at some point in time because I really do enjoy it. But right now I need to get some new lenses, and I would love a new camera body because mine is quite old, and I would like something that has a little bit more capability, and I just don't have the funds for it at the moment, but at some point I will, and I will get back into that a little bit more full force. So anyway, oh, look at that. I finished the Q&A just as I'm finishing up on Friday and coming to Halloween. Yay, happy Halloween. So that little banner is from a Halloween countdown sheet from Once More with Love that I totally forgot I had until I pulled it out to put that on there. And I'm just covering up the other character with that little Batgirl from a Pumpkin Paper Co. because she is the whole reason I bought that sheet. And I'm sure you noticed that I used a couple of others earlier in the spread. And now I'm just putting some boxes and labels in there to mark coffee in the morning, and that is just from the deco sheet from the kit, and the coffee script is Kinsey's Creations, as was any other script sticker that I've used in the spread. And then I have that Visit Corn Maze script from a bucket list sheet, and that adorable munchkin from Once More with Love was also from a fall bucket list, and it was perfect because it was the little munchkin visiting the corn maze, and I layered that over a piece of pumpkin deco. But now I'm going to change that label because I realize that the box I want to use right below it is the same color, and I didn't have another square box in a different color, so I'm just changing it and kind of making it a little bit of a mess. I actually ripped the script a little bit, but thankfully once I put it on the other box, you can't tell at all, which is good because I only had one of those. And I'm just going to put some other boxes in for the rest of the evening. We took a little ride around to visit some Halloween houses that were decorated really awesome, and then we got some tacos for dinner, and then I'm using that little Reese's peanut butter cup deco from the kit just to mark that we ate candy, including Reese's of course, and a Planner Hannah TV icon to mark that we had our candy and just watched Netflix for the rest of the evening. It was a pretty low key Halloween, and I'm not mad about that. It's all good. So now I'm just putting another couple of boxes in because I'm going to mark with a cute little burger, fries, and drink sticker that we went to Smash Burger to get some lunch. Even though we didn't have burgers, we had chicken sandwiches, and that icon as well as the taco one were both from Crafts by Towie. And then I just put down a coffee cup icon also from Crafts by Towie to mark that we got some Dunkin' after going to a ski store, and then I realized that I put my icon on the wrong side, so I'm just picking that up. I snipped off the side of that label that I ripped, and now I'm just getting an icon that has the bow on the correct side for where I want to put it. And then I'm just going to put down another box to mark that we had dinner and then just relaxed for the evening, and I'm using this really cute pumpkin paper coat girl in that chair, relaxing and reading, even though I wasn't reading, but I was still relaxing. And I'm just moving that up because I realized that I don't have quite enough space to put in the box that I want to put in, to mark that we then spent the rest of the evening binge watching more Schitt's Creek, which we started on Friday, and we literally sat for I don't know how many hours it was, but we watched all 13 episodes of the first season in one sitting, and before we knew it, it was like 1:30 in the morning. So I'm putting that TV down and a binge watch script, but I'm gonna wind up picking it up because I just don't like how that looks, and I'm just going to put that little scalloped label with a watch TV script and another little TV icon from Planner Hannah. And that pretty much concludes the day by day. So here's my finished spread, and I am so in love with how this looks. I am obsessed with all of the deco and the characters and the gold foil mixed in there. This is by far my favorite Halloween week spread that I've ever done. Thank you so much for watching, and if you enjoy this plan with me, please give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you have not already. I will of course link all the shops used in the description below. Hope you stay safe and stay healthy. Bye!